Welcome back to another episode of Explore the SRV, the Susquehanna River Valley. I'm your host, Laura Good, and we are all about the animals this podcast. Joining me this month is Ian Nicewinder, zookeeper at Clyde Peeling's Reptile Land. We have Pam Rosado from Countryvale Alpacas, and Jennifer, I'm going to butcher this, I apologize. I asked you before the podcast, Jennifer. It's Mative. Or Mativ.
Mativ.
Yeah. I have Mativies that I was friends with growing up. So there you go. From T&D's Cats of the World. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Pleasure being here.
Yes, thanks for... We hear scratching over there, Ian. What's happening? We're starting with you.
I do have some friends with me here today, so periodically throughout the podcast here, we'll have some friends join us.
Okay. Well, of course, we are here to talk about all things animals in the Susquehanna River Valley, which reptiles, alpacas, big cats. Wow, quite the difference. So to start us off, you know what? Why don't we start with you, Jennifer? Share a quick overview of what T&D's Cats of the World is.
Sure. So T&D's, we rescue wild animals. So we don't just have cats. We have a variety of other animals. We have about 300 mammals we care for. So there are the big cats, but then we have wolves and bears. And then native species, some that can't be releasable into the wild.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then are you a rehabilitation center as well, or no?
Sort of. We do rehabilitate native species, but our main focus is with providing permanent homes for the rescued animals. Yeah.
Excellent. And then what about you, Pam? You have those alpacas.
Well, mine are kind of a mix. Some came from the breeders, and I do have some rescues as well.
Okay, great.
So it's a mix, and they are all boys, which you need to have either boys or girls together. You can't mix them.
Oh, we're going to come back to that.
Yeah.
That's an interesting fun fact. Who knew?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I currently have 11 boys, and they're all very sociable.
Excellent. And then Clyde Peelings, I feel like you're very well known as an accredited zoo specifically for reptiles.
Yes. So that's kind of our big thing. Obviously, we are located in Allenwood, PA. We are an AZA accredited zoo. That is, obviously, as you said, highly specifically looking at reptiles as a whole. While we do have some other animals, like we have our bird aviary as well that guests can walk through, feed the birds. Some other animals, we have a couple mammals here and there that we'll use for specific shows, but for the most part, we're going to be highly reptile focused. And most of our focus at the zoo is going to be primarily educating people, because reptiles as a whole, they're not always touched on a lot in a lot of other zoological facilities. Mainly you see a lot of the things like your big cats, a lot of your other mammals, but generally reptile collections aren't super prevalent in a lot of zoos. Now, some zoos may have a very good reptile collection, but a lot of zoos, it's on the smaller side. So us being reptile specialized, we really want to push that education, especially trying to change a lot of people's minds, because sometimes people are a little bit afraid of reptiles, a little bit wary around them. So really trying to change that public perception through education.
Cool. Yeah. So just sitting in this room, there's quite the variety of animal attractions that you can visit right here in the Susquehanna River Valley. Why do you think each of your unique destinations are so special? And I'll turn it back over to you, Jennifer.
I think you just said it. Like we specialize in something different. So,
yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's different than other areas.
Is there another area that, right?
I don't go anywhere.
Turn to Google.
It's in Carolina. We don't go out much, but I think that does make it very unique. And then not only, are we specialized in different areas? As people travel to each of the areas, they're likely to stop maybe some place else, to eat or shop or whatever. So they get to explore, the Susquehanna River Valley a little even more.
Well, true. I mean, even coming from Allenwood down to Lewisburg, Lewisburg over to Sunbury downriver. I mean, even the topographical difference between all the different spots that you exist in is kind of extraordinary. Really, really cool. Alpacas are neat. I feel like a lot of people are afraid of them, though.
They're a little intimidated at first because they are a bigger animal and they are exotic. My alpacas have learned from each other to be very sociable, and if they behave, they get treats. So they're not gonna be spitting on anybody because they want their treat. So they're food motivated. But I know a lot of other alpaca farmers, and they're not. They don't like people as much, and they don't like being petted. But mine are very socialized to accept it if they're getting treats.
I feel like all of us are willing to accept a lot of things if we're getting treats. I can be bribed. I absolutely can bribe. I don't know about you guys, but I can totally be bribed. The education portion, though, turning it back over to you, Ian, I feel like that's really, really important when we're talking about all of the different animals you all have, because they're pretty misunderstood. I mean, alpacas, reptiles, big cats, and then even some Pennsylvania native species are incredibly misunderstood.
Yes, that is something I wanted to touch on a lot with the education, especially as far as reptiles, because I think a lot of that fear from people comes from not necessarily understanding something. So whether you look at something like a dog or cat or other animals where people can say, hey, I know how this animal's feeling, I know how to read this animal's body language. Reptiles or a lot of other animals can be a little bit more cryptic with that. And I think some of that misunderstanding and just lack of knowledge is why a lot of people are more wary or kind of stay away from those things, because I see it a lot when people come into the zoo. The best thing to see is someone comes into the zoo is a little bit wary of those animals. You do a couple educational programs, talk to them one-on-one. They get up close and those personal with those animals and realize, hey, this isn't so bad. In fact, sometimes you'll see people turn right around and be like, oh, I'm afraid of snakes, and then go out saying, I'm thinking about getting a pet snake or something along those lines. So that's some of the most rewarding portion, I think, of our jobs, is especially when you educate people on this aspect, that complete turnaround, or people completely changing that mindset, the complete 180.
That actually leads perfectly to my next question for any of you, is kind of how can you tell what's a moment or a reaction when people come to visit any of your locations that you are like, oh, that person's having a memorable experience. Like, wow, this is impactful.
I think the best smiles, giggles and smiles when they're feeding and their fuzzy noses touch their hand.
Yeah.
And they realize they're not going to get bit. They're not going to be harmed by this animal, but just the giggles from not only children, but senior citizens. It's great.
Oh, cool.
I love it. And little children who are afraid to go in, I would never, ever force anyone to go in if they're not comfortable with it. But what gets me is when the child is comfortable enough to go in, and a half hour later, they don't want to leave.
Oh, yeah.
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 And that's...
They're like,
that
no, I
is
want to
like-
stay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, we're not petting cats or big cats.
Correct.
At T&Ds.
Correct.
Which I think that's a topic we could go on and on and on about
Right.
animal, like exotic animal encounters, and how we probably shouldn't be having those unless they're appropriate distanced, right?
Yes, and some of that, there's been regulations put in place now,
which is great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it depends on where you live, which state you live in, and how they handle all that. But I think, even that you can't get up and close and personal with a lot of the animals at T&Ds. You can get close in that our fencing is close, that you can see the animals. Unlike some other bigger zoos. I know Reptile, you guys, you're right up there with, with the way you guys are set up, which is great too, to be able to see them. So you're like that as well. Yes. But some of the bigger zoos, they're so far away, and we understand why. It's because of the visitors.
Sure.
We are very protective of the animals. We don't allow people to be disrespectful. Just common sense, but there's not a lot of that anymore.
Yeah.
So we are very protective of them. We don't let people, tease them, torment them. There's no running and that kind of thing. And you are corrected. So I think the animals feel safe because they know our volunteers are around to monitor that. So you are getting still an up close and kind of personal experience without actually being able to touch them, because our animals feel safe in that they know that the volunteers are there to help keep them safe.
What's one of the biggest reactions, though? Because one of the things that I have not visited T&Ds in many, many years, but I have visited. And it's like you're driving through central Pennsylvania and then all of a sudden you step out and you're like, oh my God, there's a tiger here. Like,
Yeah.
like, wait, what?
Yeah, I think that is the central, and even here, like the lions roar.
Yes.
Like even some of like the neighbors when they have company over.
Sure. Like a Barbie. It was recently the 4th of July,
Yeah.
right? And then all of a sudden you're like,
You hear this like lion roar, and they'll be like, "What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's just T&D's lions." I'm like, "Oh, what?
What? There's
so-
lions?
with
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I know one of our recent visitors. She doesn't live far from us, and she's like always on like these trivia games where you have to like guess if it's true or false. She'll always be like, "Well, I live in central Pennsylvania and I can hear lions." And she's like, I
yeah.
always win because no one thinks that that's possible, to hear
but
lions.
it
It's like,
is.
but it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it is. So, each of your attractions has a different type of interaction with the animals. Over here, Pam, I mean, you can get up close and personal with your alpacas. There's some distance either at Reptile Land or at T&D's, but from those hands-on feeding experiences to guided tours to live shows, if someone was coming to visit, that's really a well-rounded experience for a long weekend. How do those experiences complement each other?
I would say it just offers a little bit of everything. Like same thing at the zoo, we try to offer a little bit for everyone. So obviously not everyone's going to be as comfortable going up right away, say, and touching a snake their first time stepping into the zoo, especially if they don't know a whole lot or are a bit afraid of snakes. We offer those live shows. So those live shows, while we normally offer a one-on-one touch experience at the end of each of our shows, there's still a little bit of that distance and education with that. We obviously have our main exhibits. You can go around behind the glass there and see all of our animals without that one-on-one experience. Or if people want that and seek that out, we have a variety of those experiences where you can get up close even with one of us keepers, talk directly to us, and interact with an animal right up close there and personal. So it offers a wide variety just for about anything anyone is looking out of that experience.
This is going a little bit off script, but Ian, are you willing to let all of us on this podcast, because we are recording, it's video. This is
Yes.
only podcast number 2. I hear scratching. I want to know what you have in your box.
Okay, I will be willing to.
So then while Ian gets a friend out for us to interact with, maybe Pam, you can talk about a little bit about some of the experiences that folks could have on your farm.
Okay. Well, I guess we could start with. Whoa!
Or maybe not. Maybe not. We got distracted.
I guess we could start with why I got them in the first place, was for the yarn, because I crochet shawls. I designed them.
Yeah.
And I really don't find much time for that anymore, but they are valued for their fiber. So
Okay.
there's a lot, and I now have, this is new, a full-on farm store, alpaca farm store, where I
that's
carry
great.
all the alpaca products, and if I can't make it, I import it from Peru, which is where they're native.
Sure.
So
Sure,
they
sure,
are
sure.
valued for their fiber.
Oh, yeah, let's look.
The winter socks are the best.
Wow.
These are the extreme outdoor socks, which I sell tons of.
They're so soft.
Hunters, and
Yeah.
construction workers. But these are the best of the best.
Wow.
And these
They're
are the
really
lightweight-
beautiful.
But the soaps I felt with my own alpaca fiber, it's like a soap and washcloth all in one.
Yeah.
And they're handmade goat's milk soaps. And these little guys back here,
They're super cute.
these come from Peru, and they are humanely made. I'm an animal lover, long time. I would never ever do anything to hurt an animal. But in Peru, they use animals that die in nature. They
Okay.
do not kill them for their fur.
Okay.
So, but these are good sellers too.
Very cool stuff.
Not everybody is concerned as I am about where it comes from, but I would.
I feel like everyone in this room is concerned.
Yeah,
I
I would-
think we all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the research, and that's a good thing. But I have the store, and I also have a venue where we can do parties and events.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's interactive with the alpacas.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, really, really cool stuff. So then, Jennifer, heading back out to T&D's with all of the different species you have, how do people interact?
Yeah. So during the week in June, July, and August, we offer tours, guided tours on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Because of the background of our animals, we're only open about 70 days a year, so it's very
Sure.
limited
Yeah,
because
sure.
of where they come from. So we have the guided tours, which some people really enjoy because they, hear a little bit more about the animals and where they come from. And we don't do shows or anything, but it's a guided tour. And then on the weekends, they can come walk around on their own
Okay.
And we have volunteers stationed at different areas to make sure people are being respectful, but also
Like
to
you
answer
said
questions.
earlier, so the animals feel comfortable with
yeah.
different people walking
And
around.
I do know a lot of visitors, one of their main comments is, oh, it was really nice to be able to talk to somebody,
Yeah,
and
cool.
ask questions. If we even have any, a lot of times they don't, but if they do, there's somebody there to be able to answer those questions.
So then education is a really big part of what you do at T&Ds. So talk a little bit about the educational component, and then where did some of the animals come from?
Yep. So, so again, like the volunteers are out on the weekends for education and giving the guided tours, and then we also do, school tours as well, and especially in May, we offer those in May for the kids. We don't do a lot of off-site with the animals, only because it's just my family there mainly, and we have about 14 volunteers. We don't have paid employees. It's just all volunteer work. So it's a lot already to take care of.
Yeah,
And
I can
then
imagine.
it's hard to get off site. But yeah, I'm sorry. What was your?
No. So where did some of the animals
where did
come
some of their
from?
animals
Yeah,
come from?
yeah.
Yeah, so we get them from a variety of different places. So like I said, they're all rescues. So a lot of them are government confiscations. So we
wow.
sort of act like a witness protection program for animals.
Okay.
So we have a lot of government confiscations. Most of those were illegally owned pets, but some were in, other situations that they shouldn't have been in. And then we also receive animals from zoos and other rescue facilities. So we do work with some accredited zoos in the past.
Sure.
With animals. And then we also have the non-releasable Pennsylvania wildlife that just can't return to wild, but they're okay for education. And
which
why
is
not?
great.
Yeah,
Why not?
Give them a
Exactly.
second chance. And we get a lot of animals that are kind of like we're like the land of misfit toys and land of misfit animals because we take the animals that nobody wants.
Yeah.
So we take the ones that might be missing an ear or have 3 legs because other places don't want to exhibit them and deal with the negativity. Like there's a lot of negativity of visitors.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Yeah. So
That's amazing. And that's your family.
yeah.
Incredible. Yeah. It really is incredible what you guys do.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. My pleasure. All right, educate us now.
Yes, let's do
Who do
that.
we have?
So to address the alligator in the room, this here is Stark. He is one of our juvenile American alligators we do use for a lot of education at the zoo, as well as other offsite programs like this. So we'll readily go around to things like schools, libraries, and do a lot of those traveling education programs as well. So he's an alligator. We bring a lot to that. So he's very well adept to handling. As you can see, he's a pretty socialized animal. He's kind of just hanging out with me here for the most part. So he doesn't really mind too much what's going on. But he's about 2 years old. Obviously, this is not as large as he will get. He will get much larger, especially being that he's a male. So adult male alligators can reach anywhere between actually about 10 to 14 feet and about 800 to 1,100 pounds in weight. So he's got a while to get there yet.
That's incredible. I really want to hold
What's
him.
their life? Can we pet him?
Yes, so you guys will be able to touch him.
Okay. I'm like,
if
I
you guys
really
want to
wanna hold
hold
him.
him, that's solely up to your guys' comfortability.
Can you teach me how to hold him?
I can.
Okay.
So to answer your question from a bit earlier, okay.
Oh, Stark, it's
They
okay.
can live
He's
quite a while.
so
he's a little
strong.
wiggly.
I'll
So
bet that
What do you want me to
tail-
do?
So you'll hold him with 2 hands,
stand
one
up.
hand at the base of his tail here.
Okay, got it.
Well, you're going to do
The
your
other
other
hand.
hand.
Oh,
at the
My
base
other
of his
hand,
tail.
sure,
Yep.
okay.
And then this hand right up under his chest.
Like
right
this?
there. Oh, I know you're
Bubbies,
okay.
it's okay.
Just like that.
Aw.
So being firm but light. So you don't want to hold him too firm where he's
okay.
uncomfortable. But yep, just like that.
And now, Pam, where, and you would instruct Pam, since now we're here chilling with Stark.
Yes.
Where can she touch him?
So I would say on the back and the base of the tail. Obviously, I would
Good
advise staying away
boy.
from the bitey end, even though he's not super inclined to bite. But
like a rock.
realistically, still,
Feels like a rock.
yeah. So
Hi,
there is a
Bubba.
reason it feels that hard. So those are not just ordinary scales on his back. Those are called osteoderms. So what they are actually bone plates embedded in his skin. So those do actually have a particular use. So they're actually not just used for armor and protection.
Oh, it is
They're
kinda
also
soft.
used for him to regulate his body temperature, actually. So
He's cool to the touch.
Yes, and that's because he's an ectotherm. So
Yeah.
all reptiles are ectothermic or they're cold-blooded. So they rely on their environment around them to basically match their body temperature and regulate it through that.
He's totally chill.
Yep, and that's
Yeah.
just we handle him quite a bit.
Yeah. Good boy, Stark. Now, is that related to the Starks of Game of Thrones, or just Stark in general, or
so
Tony Stark?
Tony Stark.
Okay, all right.
All of our juvenile American alligators we use are all named after Marvel characters.
Oh my
actually,
God, that's amazing.
So we also have Bucky, Natasha, and Thanos as well.
So, rapid fire, we'll go around, and you know what, Jennifer, we'll start with you. What's one thing that visitors might not expect when they arrive at Tandy's?
How large our facility is.
Oh, how large is it?
Yeah, we get that comment a lot by looking at the outside. People are like, we didn't realize it was this big to walk around. So it is about a mile walk around, and the animals have about 35 acres.
Wow.
Now you don't walk that whole thing in the mile.
Sure.
But there, so it's about a mile walk around, and I think the other like the variety of animals as well as the size of the enclosures.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about at Countryville Alpacas? One thing that people are like,
sorry,
whoa,
one.
I
I did
didn't
more than one.
expect.
Yeah, that they're so sociable that they could actually go into the pasture.
Great.
And feed them, not from outside like most other places. I didn't want to scare them.
You know what? He's like, his breathing
pretty
is like,
chill.
he's totally
Just
chill.
hanging out.
All right. So then over to Clyde Peelings. What's one thing people are like, oh my gosh?
I think it's the realization that a lot of people, especially the biggest thing you see again with reptiles, people going in, is they're a little bit aware you're afraid of them. So I think that biggest realization where they're like, oh my gosh, these animals, there's really not much reason to be afraid of them. Especially in a situation like this, even an alligator, you can see how calm and sociable an alligator can actually be. And I think that really shocks a lot of people, especially because even just like feeling reptiles, you'd be surprised how many people come in that have never touched a reptile in general. A lot of people will come up to, say, a snake, for example, and they'll be like, oh, is it going to be slimy? A lot of people think snakes will be slimy, and they touch them and they're just like, oh, they're super dry and smooth, almost like plastic. And it's like, yeah, they're not slimy at all. So I think that just catches a lot of people off guard, because not a lot of people actually interact with these animals on a day-to-day basis.
I can tell you I've never held a 2-year-old alligator ever before in my life. So this is a first. Intrusive thoughts, though. I like so want to boop his nose, but I know I should not boop his nose.
Yeah,
that's like a bad idea.
We're not going to poke and prod.
We're not gonna boop the bitey end. I would be that person who's like, but I just want to boop the tiger. Like, can I just give it a boop? And I know that's a big no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Even at his size, while he couldn't cause too much damage, it does not feel very good.
Sure.
I can say that based on personal experience. It's more so their bite force than anything. I mean, they have very small teeth at that age, so realistically, it's not going to cause much damage. But again, for the size of the animal, their bite force is very, very strong. Crocodilians in general, I mean, the world's largest reptile, the saltwater crocodile, they have a maximum measured bite force of about 3,900 psi.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
So even at his small size, he has quite a bite force on him.
Well, we're just gonna let him chill for right now.
Noticed that he hasn't blinked once the whole time. Is
Yes.
that normal?
So that can be normal. So a lot of times they don't have to blink as often as a lot of other animals like mammals. Pretty much a lot of reptiles in general are just very energy efficient animals. They're kind of the masters at sitting there and doing absolutely nothing. You'd be surprised how often at the zoo people will say, is that animal dead or is that animal alive? Yes, they're all alive. They're just the masters at being as lazy as they possibly can and conserving as much energy as they possibly can.
So from a tourism perspective, right, because of course we're inside the Susquehanna River Valley Visitors Bureau, are you all noticing any trends in tourism, especially since it's summer? I feel like people are out and about and visiting. Are you noticing any different trends or things occurring this year that you want to talk about?
Other than just kind of our normal how we go about scheduling at the zoo, obviously the summer is our big, that's when everyone's coming, that's when everyone's traveling, doing things. Generally, the winter is a little bit slower of a time for us, the zoo, especially because we have a lot of outdoor exhibits too. So in the winter, obviously we have reptiles. We can't exhibit them in freezing cold temperatures.
Yeah, no, you can't.
So a lot of our basically interactions and exhibits have to be reduced because of that. So just in general, we have more going on in the summer because of boosted activity, and the temperatures are much warmer, so we can have a lot more exhibits going on as well.
Now, Jennifer, you said that T&D's is typically only open about 70 days out of the year. Is this your tourist season right now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
May through September.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So then that's kind of when you have, are people, what types of experiences are people looking for nowadays? Are they looking to just come and walk around or more personal experiences, maybe behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think more personal. I think because everything is going like not personal. You know, you call, you never get a person to talk to on the phone.
Right, yeah.
So I think people, when they do come, again, I think they enjoy that there is actually, you know, we literally have stations that our volunteers are at. So there's someone there that they can actually interact with. You know, so I think that's important. More
Very
so
cool.
now because we're heading
In
kind
the
of opposite way.
yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
some people are,
So, whoops, hi, Papas. You're
You're
okay. Are you done? It's okay. Yeah, he's done.
Okay.
You got him?
Yep, I got
Okay,
it.
good job. And that was more to me.
I didn't know I bumped
That's
the mic.
okay. You're all right. Is there something else scratching though?
Yes, there is. So I do have another friend.
So, Pam, while Ian is getting another friend for us, this podcast is going a little long, but I feel like it's fun. If someone is listening right now and thinking about planning a trip, what would you say to inspire them to come to the Susquehanna River Valley? And if they're not inspired listening to all three of you from this podcast, I don't know what else will get them here because, wow, what different types of experiences can they have? It's incredible.
Well, I get people from all over. Yesterday, there was a girl from Denmark looking for yarn.
Aw.
And when she picked out her yarn, I took her out and showed her the alpacas that it came from.
Yeah.
And she had to take a picture to take back with her to show
So
this.
cool.
She's making a product from these boys. And she got to pet it. So
And she was from Denmark.
Denmark. She was
Wow.
from Denmark visiting her grandmother
Oh
down
my
the
goodness.
road. But I get visitors from Mexico, Spain, just in the last couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really fun. I love asking people where they came from.
Really cool.
But they're looking for something fun to do while they're here visiting.
Mm-hmm.
And the Visitors Bureau has been great with the brochures and promoting our businesses. And but they're looking for a unique experience, something different to do with the kids, with their family or friends who are visiting from out of the area.
Actually, I think what you said is pretty impactful. Something different to do with the kids. That's not, and these activities are all wonderful, right? Like a bounceplex or bowling or, you know, a skating rink or going to the movies or whatever. But each of your organizations are so unique. I don't know where else you could go and within, you know, anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour, hit 3 different zoo type experiences where you could see this collection of animals. It's really unbelievable.
And I think we're a little more personal. Like
Yeah.
all three of them are a little more personal.
I would agree.
Than if you go to, and nothing against bigger zoos or
Sure.
bigger animal places, but when you come to this area, it's smaller. It's not as congested.
Yep.
It's you know, very friendly, helpful people. And I think when you go to the different places, like we all talked about, like you do interact with the people, and I think they really enjoy that. And it's not crowded. It's just a nice area.
It is. And then, like you said earlier, okay, so when you're done visiting Clyde Peelings and then maybe you're coming back and traveling through different towns, eat at a local restaurant, drink, because we have so many amazing places here, which is great.
And oftentimes, since you guys are open earlier than we are, meaning in the morning, oftentimes we open at noon. So I'll see, you know, at noon, 1 o'clock, the hand stamp from Reptile Land. So I'm like, oh, you were at Reptile Land. How'd you enjoy it? And like, oh, it was great. And then, you know, either they knew they were already coming to us or they saw the brochure that you guys have there. We have your brochures. It's just, that makes me feel good too, because it's like, oh, they go into your place and then they're obviously animal people and came over in the afternoon. To
No,
see
it's
us.
nice. Collaboration can really be a powerful thing. So you just illustrated the perfect benefit of working together, right? So, here's another thing we could do. We don't have plans tomorrow afternoon. Let's go and do X, Y, and Z. So, all right, we have another friend.
Yes. So we have an eastern box turtle. So this is a Pennsylvania native species. So turtle that you can find readily right in your backyard. This here is also a juvenile, so he has a little bit of growing yet to do. He'll probably double in size till he reaches adulthood yet. So little bit about them, I guess, why they're called a box turtle, is their unique plastron. So actually, I don't know if I can show any of the cameras if they can get it. There's a little horizontal line that runs through the center of their plastron, or the bottom of their shell here. Basically, what that is going to do is actually allow them to
It's okay.
completely enclose themselves inside of their shell. So a lot of other turtles and tortoises can't do that. A lot of times you'll see they have very heavy scalation on the front of their forearms, and they'll just use that to kind of block off their head, which is the most exposed vital part of their body, and just block that entrance off. While box turtles, they can actually hinge the front of the bottom of their shell upwards and completely close the scab.
Wow.
Who knew?
Like the cartoon ones, huh?
Yeah, closes them right on up. Does our turtle friend have a name?
He actually does not have a name currently. So one reason for that is they were fairly recent acquisitions.
Okay.
And two, we keep them multiple individuals together. So I believe currently we have 6 box turtles that are juveniles total housed together. And that just kind of comes down to telling them apart would be virtually impossible, especially at this size. So unfortunately, if we were to name them, we'd probably be referring to them as the wrong name all the time.
Sure. Well, we're going to call him Leonardo. In
okay.
honor of one of the Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that is. But one quick last question about the
Yes.
turtle. Is there a way to tell the difference between male and female based upon a pattern? Is that true, or is that not true for the box turtle?
So as far as based upon patterning, no. So
Okay.
there are a lot of animals out there that you can do that with. So we have a big fancy basically term for that. It's called sexual dimorphism.
Okay.
So something that looks visibly different from one another. So a good example that I can use specifically because I'm a big venomous snake person would be Wagler's temple vipers. So they're a species of tree-dwelling viper from Southeast Asia. If you look at the females, they can reach up to about 3 feet long. They'll be almost entirely black with basically yellow tiger stripes and a bluish underbelly. The males stay only about 15 inches long and look like little tiny green beans.
Oh,
So
really?
they're green their entire life, and they just have little tiny, basically brown dots lining down their sides.
Wow.
And that's what they look like. So they're much smaller than females, stay bright green their entire life, and don't shift their colors at all towards what females will.
Well, women
So
are
that's-
more powerful. So
Yeah, so that's a very extreme difference there that you can see with something like that. Now, most turtles, there are some fairly sure ways you can tell. One of them is going to be actually how their plastron is shaped.
Okay.
And that just kind of goes with how that reproductive activity actually occurs. So basically, most turtles that are males will have kind of a big divot in the bottom of their plastron.
Sure.
So they can accommodate for that reproductive activity.
We need some eggs for some baby turtles.
Yes,
got
we
it.
do.
Got it. Cool. Is he friendly enough to maybe come and say hi?
Absolutely.
Oh, he'd be fun to hold. Oh,
Cup him and support his weight there.
He's like, oh,
oh, I can pet his head.
maybe.
He might not let. No, a little bit. His head is his most vital part of his body, so he's a little shy around that.
All right.
Do they feel when you touch their shell?
So to an extent, yes. So actually, since he is a juvenile, you can actually see if you look at the top of his shell, you'll see little bumps that are running through the center of it.
Yes.
That's actually his spine. So a turtle and tortoise's shell is basically like our spine and ribs. So their spine is fused into the inside of their shell, and like our ribs wrap around our internal organs. Basically, you can think of a shell as just widened and fused together ribs.
Okay.
So they do have a lot of nerve endings that run up through their spine, just like us. So while very light touch they can't necessarily feel, any little taps on it, they can feel those vibrations going throughout their shell.
Got him. Pam's got him. So as we wrap up this episode, if someone is listening right now, and maybe it's spread far enough that they're several states away thinking about planning a trip to the Susquehanna River Valley, what would you say to them to inspire them to come and experience any one of these awesome animal attractions that we have in our area?
I just say, just come and visit, and I think you'd be surprised. At
I
each
think
of
so,
the places.
too.
I think you'd be pleasantly surprised at each of the our facilities. Yeah, yeah.
What about you?
I think a lot of people are surprised too at the variety of products that actually come from alpacas and
My dryer balls come from alpacas.
yes, absolutely. That reminds me, I need to order more.
There you go.
Out.
And how about
Somebody, oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
no, that's
Somebody wanted to buy just one yesterday for her cat.
Yeah.
Cats and dogs.
Oh, geez, to play with them. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. And what about
She
you,
buys
Ian?
them
What would
just
you
for the
say?
I would say just, yeah, stop in, test out, feel out the waters. Basically, especially if you're afraid of reptiles, I would encourage you to come in, learn a thing or two, see if we can maybe change your mind. And even if you love reptiles, come in, see what we got. We obviously have a variety, a lot, even more than some of your bigger zoos out there, just because, again, we are a highly specialized zoo. So come in, stop by, interact with some of our animals, especially if you love reptiles, and maybe you'll learn a thing or two.
Well, if you are listening to this podcast and you've made it this far, thank you for joining us. Clyde P. Lane's Reptile Land, Country Vale Alpacas, and T&D Cats of the World. Those are the 3 things that you want to look up. I encourage you highly to plan a visit to all of the amazing animal attractions that are right here in the Susquehanna River Valley. Thank you all so much for joining me today. This has been so much fun. Ian, thank you for bringing the animals.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate all of you, and we will catch you next time as we continue to explore the SRV.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.